And welcome to the JAMEEL RAWLS show. And as we go further into my show, I'm going to talk a little bit more about my history and some of the people that I know, some of the people that I've met. Now, recently, I did an interview with a good friend of mine. He's in the state penitentiary, and I've been knowing him my whole life. And we both grew up in an area in Muskegon Heights, Michigan, that most people call the West Side. And growing up, I lived in a few different residences within the area. Now, my father and his family had a lot of friends and associates in the area. So most of the people in the area know me or know somebody I'm related to. That area, I would say Muskegon Heights from like 8th Street to probably around Hoyt Street is what you could consider the West Side. But a lot of people who actually, a lot of people who grew up there, I would say, might not associate any farther east than Peck Street. Now, Razor, he's a rapper. He does rap, and we had recorded some rap of his years ago. And now that he's in the penitentiary, he calls me and I record a lot of his rap still. Now, recently he got arrested on a petty dope case. He claims, he was set up and all that stuff. I don't know what happened, but, I'll take his word for it. He say he has some more music that he want me to use for my show, for the soundtrack and whatnot. So I'm trying to get a hold of that. Muskegon Heights is an interesting area. When me and Razor were growing up, we lived in the area of Waukegan Summit. And at that time, this was the early 90s, and anything south of Summit was more like the Roosevelt Park area of Michigan. See, let me put it like this. You have Muskegon County, then you have the city of Muskegon, you have the city of Muskegon Heights, you have Roosevelt Park, you have Norton Shores, you have Fruitport, you have Orchard View, you have multiple smaller areas, multiple smaller cities and townships within the whole Muskegon area. So most people who say they're from Muskegon, they might not actually live in the actual city of Muskegon downtown. They might live in Roosevelt Park, which is a city in Muskegon County, or they might live in Muskegon Heights or someplace like that. So now, growing up, anything south of Summit Street was kept up really very well. It was more like Roosevelt Park, more like middle class, mostly white, very nice area. And recently, the area has gotten there's a lot of gangs, drugs, things like that. The interesting part about it is my uncle, his two sons were very instrumental in that area, in the area south of the Heights. There was a little group that called themselves GMB, Get Money Boys, on Glendale Street, and my uncle's two sons were very instrumental in coming up with that group, creating that group, and a lot of people from the area have nice cars and rims and all that stuff, and but the area of the West Side, there's a basketball court on 8th Street. Most people who are from the area hang out there in the summer. There used to be a market called 6th Street Market that was right around the corner from there. That was a long time ago. And so I'm going to see if I can get Razor on here and do some interviews. There's some other rappers from the area too that I know. Kin, I know him. He's a well-known rapper from the West Side of Muskegon Heights. Muskegon's small. Muskegon is really small. I'm related to people all the way from that area, the West Side of Muskegon Heights, all the way to the projects, which a lot of people call a nickname of East Park. I just talked to my cousin the other day, and she lives in that area. Then we have another cousin who lived in that area of the projects. And I grew up hanging around right there on Hackley and Wood with a friend of the family. I just talked to one of them in my video that I did titled the JAMEEL RAWLS show on the music industry. I was on one of those episodes. I was speaking about Preacher Man, Knuckles, L, fistful of dollars and all that stuff. And I just spoke with one of the individuals, and lo and behold, they were in a music video, and they were even in a B movie. And so I might be putting that up on here and doing an interview with one of them for the JAMEEL RAWLS show. But as most people know, I'm a historical student, and currently I'm researching into microbiology, microelectronics, and calculus. But I think it's really cool to I think it's real cool to go back and see what these rappers and stuff are doing, and people still living in the hood are doing, and try to see what I can work around my show. There's a lot of people I know from Muskegon, like getting out of the Heights area, out of the West Side, out of the South area, and you have the East Broadway area, and a lot of the main people that hang around that area I've come to know over the years. I have another cousin that I talk to all the time. He's from he's well known. He's from the Wood Street area. Hell, matter of fact, my other cousins from Wood and Pine. I got like 3-4 cousins from the Wood and Pine area downtown, downtown by the McLaughlin area and all that stuff. Then a lot of my uncles and cousins grew up in Jackson Hill. I know a lot of people from the Mason area, which is a well-known black neighborhood in the downtown Muskegon area. And Muskegon's so tiny. It's like if you live in the Muskegon area and you are really out there talking to people, you're gonna meet the whole area. I mean, and I know like a lot of the people that I know are either from the black neighborhoods or Hispanic neighborhoods, or they're from the middle class white neighborhoods, or they're from the upper white class. Like I pretty much just know an array of people, and I talk to people all over the world. Like a lot of my good friends live in California. A lot of my friends live in New Jersey. I like to talk to people who live, Australia, China. I talk to people on different continents, and so that's what it is. But on the JAMEEL RAWLS show, we're going to create some space and get more people involved and get more people on, because my show's a real show. These are real people I really know. It's not just, I don't just interview people about conspiracies or psychic research or ESP. I interview real people that I've been knowing my whole life. And on the JAMEEL RAWLS show.